My goal is to make the perfect landscape for my world, and have little builds dotted all over the place. But interiors are hard, and finding something to put in them can be just as difficult. When creating a build, I often leave it hollow and empty, only using it as something that looks nice but has no practical purpose other than that. And while I have nothing wrong with doing that, trust me, this world will have plenty of them. Today, that's all gonna change. Today, I'm gonna be making the most important build in my world, and it's gonna be home to the fuel for the rest of my world. But first things first, I need materials, and I need a lot of them. So today we're going to start out with building a couple farms, and then get on the grind so we can hopefully get this done. When I built this moss farm, I said that there were big plans for what's going to surround it. And today we're coming back to this area because this is where the rest of our farms are going to be located. This first farm that I'm building is a simple tree farm, and while it's going to be very useful down the line and even for this episode, the main wood I need is mangrove, and unfortunately I can't use that for this. So moving right behind that other tree farm, I start building this mangrove farm, and it causes me a lot of problems because, to be honest, I have no idea how this redstone works. And I did not know that it had to be set on a specific block because of the mangrove sapling placement. Because of the mangrove sapling placement, I was actually unable to use this farm, so I had to tear it all down and move it back one block so I could reach the sapling so I could use it. Now that these farms are done, I got a long road ahead of me of grinding out resources so I can make this build. For this build, alongside a ton of mangrove wood, I'm going to need deep slate, tuff, basalt, a little bit of terracotta, diorite, snow, and a bunch of different types of woods. Of course, those are just the big ones. I'm going to need tons of other resources, they're just not as notable. So with that, let's get started on this long resource grind. The first place this takes me is out to the desert, where there's tons of azalea trees so I can dig up all the rooted dirt, because I need about 6 shulker boxes of this. And after that, I'm headed out to the mesa, and luckily this is just one stop on my way there. While I was gathering the resources out here, I was looking at the terrain, and I think at some point it would be pretty cool to do a desert theme build out this way. But with all this gathered, I think it's time to head underground and get the tough, deep slate, diorite, and other blocks that I'm going to need for this. Now that I finally have all the resource gathering done, I can finally get working on this terrain. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. While this shed is empty right now, at some point I would love to make a cool train engine and put it inside of here being worked on. Or if you have any other ideas, feel free to let me know. I love hearing all your feedback. But that's enough of an intermission, let's get back to building. Wow, never would I have thought that I would have this built in survival. This is pretty crazy to see in game. I did build a couple more trees in here just to fill out the area a little better, but of course I still have this giant forest space to do to my left. I believe this mountain in total is close to 250,000 blocks, and I forgot to record a good portion of the resource gathering, and I mean, this is just this just looks nuts. Of course, we're not quite done yet because I do have a big old hole that I need to fill, and I think the build turned out pretty good. So got a little bit more resource gathering, and then we'll get right back to building. Alright, now that we're finally back from the nether, ignore that, that's a Voxy problem. And got all the quartz ore I needed. I got all these shulker boxes with all the other resources I'm gonna need. Let's go ahead and fill this giant hole with the final build. For this build, I was very inspired by the Kennecott copper mine in Alaska, which for a time, it was the biggest copper mine in the world. And originally I thought it was a lumber mill, and so that's why I decided to put 2 wood farms inside of it, only to find out that yes, it is a copper mine. This building, which is now abandoned, has this beautiful red color, and unfortunately it is falling apart, but there are tons of cool pictures of the inside where it's just this wooden monolith along this hillside. This build is finally done, and wow, I am so happy with the way this turned out. I can't get over how cool this looks. I think this might be one of my best builds to date. On the inside of this, I decided to put a little storage hall. Forgot to record it, but it's just going to be for general storage. You got stones and woods, and then started putting the items in here. Not sure how full this is ever gonna be, but it's here if I need it. And in this area, I got moss farm all tucked away in a big open area just for any clutter, and all the shulker boxes for in between projects. I can put them here when I need them. But with that, I think that is all for today. Really happy with how this turned out, but most importantly, thank you for watching.